A congressional investigation is raising new questions about whether government officials may have crossed the line in pressuring Bank of America to complete, its takeover of Merrill Lynch. At the center of the controversy, the actions of Fed Chairman Ben Bernanke. Bloomberg's Peter Cook is in Washington with this breaking news. Peter?
Well, Matt, I need to give you a little background here, first of all. Tomorrow, the House Oversight and Government Reform Committee will hold a hearing looking into Bank of America's Merrill Lynch deal and the allegations first raised back in April by New York Attorney General Andrew Cuomo in his investigation. The Bank of America CEO Ken Lewis may have violated his fiduciary responsibility to shareholders by not disclosing information he had learned about Merrill's deteriorating financial position. Things were so bad that Lewis was considering killing the deal by invoking what's called the Material Adverse Change, or MAC clause, in the agreement. And Lewis told Cuomo's investigators that he informed government officials and that then Treasury Secretary Hank Paulson threatened to remove management and the board if Bank of America did not go through with its purchase of Merrill Lynch. Hank Paulson later said he did so in part based on the Fed's position on the matter. Now, according to a memo prepared by Republican staffers for Republican committee members who will question Ken Lewis tomorrow at the hearing about the deal, internal Fed emails cited in this memo show the Fed chairman was prepared to threaten the bank's management with their jobs. At least that's the conclusion of these Republican staffers. The staffers cite in particular a December 20th email from Richmond Fed President Jeffrey Lacker, in which he writes, quote, "Just had a long talk with Ben," referring to Bernanke, says that they think the MAC threat, the Material Adverse Clause threat, is irrelevant because it's not credible. Also intends to make it even more clear that if they play that card and they need assistance, management is gone. Again, an email cited by Republican staffers in this memo, indicating it came from Jeffrey Lacker, the Richmond Fed president. The staff memo says Bank of America board minutes confirm that suggestion as well, citing this excerpt from a December 22nd meeting of Bank of America's board. And I'll read it to you again, the full quote here, cited by Republican staffers in this memo for committee members. The Treasury and Fed stated strongly that were the corporation to invoke the Material Adverse Change clause in the merger agreement with Merrill Lynch and fail to close the transaction, the Treasury and Fed would remove the board and management of the corporation. Again, these are this is from this memo prepared for Republican committee members who will question Ken Lewis tomorrow. Now, I want to remind you again that the Fed chairman has been asked about some of these things in the past, and specifically at a hearing of the Joint Economic Committee in which he, at that point, said that he had done nothing wrong and that he was prepared to make all of the Fed's materials, emails, conversations, communications available to congressional members so that they could investigate for themselves. They have done that. They have subpoenaed. This committee has issued a subpoena to the Fed, received some of these materials, even in the past 24 to 48 hours. And it is some of these materials that, again, the Republican staffers are citing in this memo prepared for committee members that will be the focus of discussion, Matt, tomorrow up on the Hill. These Republican staffers conclude that the Fed chairman and the Treasury Secretary, based on their actions, crossed the line for government officials in threatening Ken Lewis and the Bank of America's management. It remains to be seen if anyone else will agree with that, if the Fed chairman will choose to offer his own comments on this. So far, the Fed is declining to comment on, again, this memo that we've obtained here at Bloomberg from Republican staffers being prepared for the committee hearing that takes place 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. You can be sure we're on the Hill, set to cover Ken Lewis's appearance, and, of course, more details coming from these emails and other internal documents that will be part of the record at that hearing tomorrow.
All right, Peter Cook in Washington. We will continue to stay on top of that story.